Earlier this year, Manon Davies spent a week in a hospital ward taking frequent doses of antibiotics and giving blood and urine samples. But Manon wasn't sick. In fact, she was in perfect health.
Well, the ad appeared on my social media at just precisely the right time for me. I had some time off work, and like many people, I was feeling the pinch financially and always looking for new ways to supplement my income.
Each year, thousands of Aussies like Manon and fellow participant Ellie Answorth sign up for paid clinical trials, helping test new and potentially life-saving medical treatments.
Knowing that you're playing a vital role in medical research is pretty cool.
Yeah. You can't be scared of needles. You can't have a needle phobia or a blood phobia to do this.
But you will get over it.
Yeah,
if you
absolutely. I'm not scared of having blood taken at all anymore.
If there's a new vaccine.
But at this new research clinic in Melbourne, Dr Andrew Brockway and Professor James McCarthy are calling on Victorians to volunteer for a different type of clinical trial.
Pop this on your finger.
One that involves deliberately infecting healthy patients.
Doherty Clinical Trials is quite unique. There's a number of clinical trial facilities around Australia that conduct early phase clinical research. Doherty Clinical Trials also has a specialisation in what's called the human challenge model.
So human challenge trials are studies where we intentionally give people a small dose of some sort of virus or bacteria or parasite and then follow the course of their infection after treatment, or whether they actually protected if we've already vaccinated them. So it's a really powerful way to figure out whether new treatments or vaccines actually work without going to sick people in communities and risking that treatment not work in those communities.
Future guests in this carefully contained facility, the first of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere, could intentionally be infected with anything from the flu to malaria and even gonorrhea.
We've also got some interesting and new studies. So, for example, in Melbourne, we are working with colleagues at the Doherty Institute to develop a Buruli ulcer challenge model where we would actually scratch the people's skin with the bacteria that causes Buruli ulcer and then see whether the treatments we've got work and whether we can develop a vaccine for that.
As strange as it sounds, these types of studies have been conducted overseas for decades. But the Doherty Institute have worked extra hard to make their clinic feel as unclinical as possible by providing such creature comforts as extra wide beds, high-quality bedding and a cosy living room for their virus volunteers.
Meanwhile, they've also got access to all the important clinical facilities like you would have in a hospital, so resuscitation equipment, all that sort of thing. So if something was to go wrong, God forbid, we're ready for it and we're trained for it and we've got all the necessary equipment. So it's sort of that cross between a hotel and a hospital that we really aim to get in place.
Payment for these studies is similar to jury duty. It depends on the length of the trial, not what you've been infected with. But money aside, you may be wondering who voluntarily catches an infectious disease.
My name is Matthew Beagle. I live in Baltimore, Maryland in the United States.
Over the past few years, Matthew has signed up for not just one, but two of these studies, raising his hand for a dose of the mosquito-borne Zika virus and the deadly Shigella bacteria.
For the Shigella vaccine study, they had little shot glasses with the Shigella bacteria in liquid, and so we just kind of took the drink of the Shigella. And then from the Zika study, they would have the mosquito in a cup with a mesh top, and we would sit with our arm kind of over top of the cup while the mosquitoes bit us for 30 minutes or so until they had enough bites from that set of mosquitoes. I did experience diarrhea, headaches, and maybe some type of light sensitivity. We have the resources to be able to conduct these trials safely. And if I can use my body for science to be able to help people in maybe third world countries that don't have as many resources, then I think it's completely worth it. And then also you get some money on the side as well.
This is a really important thing to understand, that the ethics involves, first of all, experts in the area on an ethics committee reviewing what you're planning to do and giving an opinion that it's safe. And then also that the people coming into the study have been reassured that it's safe, but also they've given you permission to do that. So it's really that informed consent process, which is critical.
So it's really important to understand that all the challenge trials we will do at Doherty Clinical Trials are going to have full treatments.
And they're not going to be risking their family, for example, transmitting the infection to their family. That's one of the really important things to know, that when people participate in their studies, we make sure that they're no longer infectious when they leave our unit.
No, it's very clever. Obviously, I have a family, I have children. I would never do anything to put myself at risk. But I also think that every trial is approved by the Australian Ethics Committee. It's safe. And I'm also helping advance medical knowledge. It's very satisfying.